All right, this juicy story keeps getting spicier as sparks are starting to fly between Bill Belichick, the University of North Carolina, and his hot young thing, Jordon Hudson, his 24-year-old girlfriend, who's at the center of controversy over the last few weeks, despite some reporting today that Hudson was banned from the football facilities and athletic facilities. The university comes out and disputes said report, but this thing is starting to get real juicy. People close to Belichick getting worried about him. Is she controlling him? Hey man, she must be rocking his world for the man that we know as Bill Belichick to put up with this nonsense. But let's hop into it. So, University of North Carolina hires Bill Belichick as their head football coach, sat out of football. We know the drill, probably the greatest NFL coach of all time, 6 Super Bowl rings, this, that, yada, yada, yada. But Belichick, 73 years old, has debuted his new girlfriend, Jordon Hudson, who is only 24 years old. Yes, 24 years old. So we know exactly what the deal is here. But as after videos have surfaced of her, seemingly being on the field, running practice at the University of North Carolina, there's this disastrous CBS interview that came out last week where Hudson basically shuts down questions of how their relationship started. She apparently interjected multiple times throughout the interview. They didn't even air the worst of it and apparently stormed off of said interview from CBS and looked for Bill to join her, and Bill didn't. After that, reports came out that members of the Belichick circle are worried about the outsized impact Hudson has over Belichick. Apparently she's like running the North Carolina social media for football. She's kind of controlling all of his PR. Now, she doesn't have an official title at the University of North Carolina. She's listed as like head of Belichick Productions. And really, she seems to be calling all the shots here. How this 24-year-old woman got in control of all of this is completely beyond me. So Belichick's the head coach at North Carolina. There apparently were talks to get like a Hard Knock style show at UNC for this upcoming, summer camp or whatever. Hudson shut that down, got that out of town. And that kind of blew up. We have this disastrous CBS interview last week. And then reports surfaced today from Pablo Torre on his show that he spoke to 11 people inside the North Carolina, higher ups of the athletic department. And 2 of them on the record said, she's done. Do not expect to see her anymore. They decided they paid Bill Belichick $10 million per year, not to just be the highest paid football coach, but the highest paid public employee in the state of North Carolina. And then do not expect her around the football team anymore. She has been banned from the football and athletic facilities. But after this kind of bombshell drop this morning, and honestly, if anybody's been following along, it was not super surprising after all the negative press and PR we've been dealing with. Allegedly, Belichick hired a separate PR person on how to deal with this and deal with her situation. North Carolina came out and said this is not at all true. She is still welcome at the facilities. There's been no banning whatsoever. And Pablo Torre fired back. He said, if you want to update your stance and change it, whatever, but this is complete BS. I trust my sourcing on this one. You guys had decided to kick her out until the negative pushback this morning. And this whole situation has honestly just turned into a complete and absolute dumpster fire. First and foremost, the optics are horrible with, 73-year-old Bill Belichick still coaching, still trying to, regain his youth or go out with, some sort of success in college at the University of North Carolina, and him dating a girl who basically could be his granddaughter. 24 years old, let's not get it twisted here. We know what the deal is. She must be rocking his world's toe curling out there for Bill to be putting up with this nonsense, because Bill is notorious for being the most non-BS, he doesn't put up with anything. We're on to Cincinnati. He was the worst media person to deal with in the NFL for his 20 years in New England. And now it's like they're posting cringy Instagram posts. They're doing all sorts of stuff. Bill's even doing this interview on CBS. I thought we would never see Bill Belichick do this type of interview and then just have her completely blow up and kind of tarnish the legacy of a guy who was looked at in this kind of hollow light. Now, it didn't end great in New England after Tom Brady. That kind of took a knock on his standing. Like, was it Brady? Was it Belichick? Obviously, it was both guys, but kind of tarnished his legacy a little bit. And now all of this nonsense, it's not good. It's not going out pretty. I think we all kind of hoped it would go out. We hope the ending is as deserved as the entire legacy and your career. But more often than not, things kind of flame out and they go out with a whimper and not a bang. And this whole situation has gotten completely kind of out of control and all over the place. There's reports that like she has like an $8 million real estate portfolio. I wonder how the hell she got a hold of that. I mean, she is just like controlling and manipulating Bill is what it sounds like. There are very concerned family members. We have people in the media saying it feels like Bill has dementia or he's slowing down. And like, obviously he's 70 plus years old. He's probably slowing down and kind of handed off some of the responsibilities to his girlfriend, but they are adamant that there is a separation between the public, their public relationship and their private relationship. But that feels like impossible to do, especially with a person as young as Jordon is. She's 24 years old. I know at 24, I would be impossible for me to separate those two relationships. Could Bill do it at 73? Absolutely. He's made an entire career of being able to separate the personal and the professional. I mean, he did have a son, Steve, on his staff, but I'm sure he got on Steve's ass. Nobody said Steve Belichick got preferential treatment in New England. And honestly, Steve Belichick was a pretty good defensive coordinator, especially being on his own last year without his dad in coaching. Did a pretty good job as far as people are concerned. He was at the University of Washington, did a good job. So he's like a really good head coach. And of all people, you think Bill wouldn't be the nepotism guy. Bill will give you a shot maybe to get in the door, but he's not going to put up with your nonsense. He's not going to put up with your bullshit, but maybe he's getting sentimental. The reports are, his dad worked at the University of North Carolina. That's his roots as a kid, as a Tar Heel. That's potentially why he came back and took this job, trying to be an homage to his dad. He is getting up there in age. He wants, he's getting sentimental. When you get up there, you get sentimental on things in life. You look back at what your legacy is going to be. And maybe he wants to be able to pass this off to Steve, his son, because it sounds like he's in line to take over when Bill ultimately steps down. And now, the evil young hot thing is in the picture destroying all this. Honestly, he needs to get her out of there. The optics are bad. I mean, the video, like people were losing their damn minds of her on the football field, like bossing people around in spring practice. And there's reports that the athletic department, the people aren't happy with just the entire Bill Belichick experience as a whole. Look, Bill is like rough around the edges. He's a pain in the ass to deal with. The Brady relationship, the leaks on that are bad. The Robert Kraft relationship, the leaks on that are kind of bad. So Bill is just football, doesn't really play the political and personal game, and that can rub some people the wrong way, especially in college football and especially in the South, where it's all about greasing those palms and getting those relationships with the ADs, with the boosters to get people feeling good. He's brought in all his NFL buddies. I was hoping this was going to be massively successful in North Carolina, and massively successful is maybe like a 10-win season, potentially find themselves into the 16-team playoff, but it's starting to look dreary. I do like the kind of guy they are bringing into the program. They're going to get those guys who are going to try and make it an NFL factory. This is going to be like grooming you for the NFL. Unlike most college football programs that are focused on paying you, focused on winning, you are going to get NFL coached. You are going to get, hard-nosed, no-nonsense, because college football has really turned into, we got to cater to these kids because of the NIL. We're basically can't even yell at them anymore, or they're just going to hit the transfer portal, and somebody else will fork up the cash to try and win a national championship. And that's not going to be North Carolina. That's not going to be Bill Belichick. But if the reporting by Pablo Torre is true, UNC has reversed their course. Jordon Hudson apparently allowed at the football facility despite the massive negative PR over the last few weeks. And I only think it's going to get worse out there. I'm not sure how this story ends, but it's always going to be keeping us entertained. Let's make sure we're still locked in on this, because either it's going to go awesome, it's going to go terrible, but we're all going to enjoy it, I'm sure. But that's going to do it for us today. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. Does he need to break up with Hudson? Does he need to distance himself? Or are you cool with her kind of calling the shots and running the show for Bill Belichick. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Again, if you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. If you want to check out one of your teams live, it's baseball season. NBA, NHL playoffs are in full swing. Head on over to SeatGeek.com. Use code AfterTheReview for $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek.com. Code AfterTheReview for $20 off your first purchase. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.